Hey, Tad,
Yes, Dan.
let me tell you about some of the insane stuff that happens when you work at a pizza place.
Now, when you say work at a pizza place, you don't mean in the back, tossing the pizzas in the air, saying, I can't think of any Italian words that wouldn't come across as racist, but,
I
flipping it
mean,
in the
just go
air,
for it then.
you're going with Johnny Pizzoli, you're spinning the pizzas, you got the flour in the air.
Hey, yo, Johnny, where's the pizza dough? And he's just got bushels of arm hair.
Hey, yo, Johnny Pastrami. Hey, yo, Tony Lasagna. And the pizza falls in your
Why
face, and we all have
why
a good
are all
old
their
laugh.
last names different types of food?
I'm pretty sure it's how Italians work. I'm like one-fourth Italian. I got the hair to prove it.
Oh, okay then. I didn't need to know that, but thank you. Oh, just imagining all the various back hairs. But
It's coarse.
actually, ugh, make like a make a cat brush out of those. But that actually fairly accurately describes what most line cooks at pizza places look like. They look like they would be an extra in like The Sopranos. Every pizza cook looks like they should be a pizza cook. But no, I'm referring to specifically being a delivery driver, though the things that happen in the back of house are often just as batshit insane. So let's start off there. I worked at two different pizza places over the period of a couple of years. Uh, you know, I worked at the Pizza Shack
The
and
Pizza Shack.
yeah, are we doing this, or can we not care about potential? Hey, get your Domino's 10 for 10. Oh, I already said it. Never mind. Yeah, I worked at Domino's and Pizza Hut. I'm not going to be speaking on the companies as a whole because I was just the only experience I have is in Columbus, Ohio. And my experience in Columbus, Ohio is whoo boy pizza places. So the primary difference between each of the major chain pizza places that I've worked out is what type of white trash you deliver to and what brand of alcohol they're drunk off of at 12 a.m.
You've got it down to a science.
Or rather 12 p.m. I mean noon. So I'm not talking about midnight. At midnight they're all stoned. So primarily Pizza Hut, you delivered to people with Budweiser cans strewn through their yard as ornaments, and then Domino's delivered to gated communities with women with like the big hair and the let me talk to the manager haircuts, and they were all drunk off of box wine.
It's an important distinction.
It really is. But so for the back of house staff, whenever you're working as a pizza delivery driver, your goal is to be in your car for as long as possible to avoid human interaction with those people.
All right. It sounds like
Because
my job at the gas station where I would actively just like, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to go outside. I did this. I would go outside when it was like 15 degrees out because I did not want to be in there with all those middle-aged women. I would find any excuse to just leave them.
it's basically something like that. At most pizza places, and I've found this to be a constant from any number of people that I've asked, you have a set group of people who work there, and it is always the same. People will fill one of several roles. First off, you have people like me, the just out of high school or college student delivery drivers who are just there because it's an easy job where you make a decent amount of money. We primarily ignore each other, shoot the shit as we're passing people, like passing each other by in the back of house, and just are there to deliver pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
Then
You're the zzaman.
You have the upper managers who are only like 2 or 3 years older than those guys and are not capable of being managers in the slightest. Like, then you have the lifers, and What we are talking about is the people who are above 40 and still delivering pizzas, and they have been delivering pizzas likely at that very same place. And they will talk about how crazy it was in the 70s to be delivering pizza. And they drive like a bitchin' $2,000 beat up Honda Civic that is loud as shit, but they claim gets them laid constantly.
You'll just sidle up to kind of like, let me tell you about the time I delivered during the O.J. Simpson trial.
No, yeah, kind of. And then you've got the, like, in the lifers, you got that guy, the, like, creepy, bit too old to be here, but still acts like a college kid guy. And then you have, like, the old-ass motherfuckers who, like, live in their cars and secretly have a ton of money, probably, but are still delivering pizzas. Because they just show up and they will show up and have things that should not be purchasable with the salary that they are supposed to be making. And I don't know where the money comes from.
I have an inclination as to where the money may come from.
Please enlighten me, because I don't know. This happened at both places where the, like, 50, 60 something dudes would be driving great cars delivering pizzas as their primary and only gig.
You see, you say that, but consider this. Marijuana. You order a pizza, the dude shows up, there's a little, exchange of materials between hands, and there we go, there's a big tip for you, Mr. Pizza Man.
Well, okay, in Columbus, I would imagine that you come for the pizza, but you don't stay for the weed, you stay for the meth and or heroin. That is currently Columbus.
You can put anything in a pizza box.
That's true.
You can have a fucking syringe of... I don't know how people do meth. Do they put it in a syringe?
Yes, absolutely. Please believe that. I actually don't know either.
It's been a while since I've seen Breaking Bad. I think they, take a spoon and they, put, the crack... No, hold on a second. That's crack. I don't know. I don't know, meth.
So... the amount of times that people actually would ask me if I could sell them weed was astronomical, to the point where I really should have been a drug dealer. Like, at that point, you already got the look.
White guy in Columbus. You got that look.
I mean, it is a bit more like, I was white guy with semi-long hair who looked like he was in, 3 different frats, driving a decent car while delivering pizza. I looked like I sold a lot of weed. But so specifically though, once you actually get out on the road, it's pretty great. You're getting paid a decent amount of money to give pizzas to drunk people, who then give you extra money just for giving it to them.
All you have to do is sometimes
unsavory customers.
Like me, when that man with dwarfism delivered to our house.
Wait, what?
Oh, did I never tell you this?
You have never told me this.
I told it to one of the Noise Boys. We ordered from Papa John's, and the delivery driver had dwarfism, and I answered the door and I yelled out,
"Oh, he wasn't Papa John. He wasn't Papa John, he was Nephew John. It was Little John."
It was actually John. He said, "How y'all doing?" And they gave me the pizza. And it
Nice.
was really great. Please listen to Revival.
Yes. So, for unsavory customers, probably my first foray into the realm of complete insanity while dealing with pizza delivery customers was about a couple of weeks after I joined. They gave me a delivery out to some random place, and one of the managers actually took me aside before I took the order and said, "Okay, this is your first time doing this. This guy is insane." And I said, "What do you mean by that?" And I said, "This guy calls in," and he said, "This guy calls in like every other day, puts on a fake woman's voice, like very clearly fake, and gives a different name each time. Like, he would call up, 'Hello, this is Josephine, calling from Yes, this is the same address that Cathy called from last week, but this isn't Cathy anymore, it's Josephine. And he would order the same thing, so he's not fooling anybody. It was always just like 8 barbecue wings with extra sauce, but, and this was important, there couldn't be too little sauce or else he would complain, and if the sauce touched the top of the box, he would complain. And corporate policy was that we had to give him a refund. So every time we went, basically, the food was free.
Oh, dude, I like Cathy.
And he absolutely hated every driver, basically. Like, everybody had done something to piss him off except for me. I show up and he opens the door and he, like, turns his head, like, and it's this creepy, disheveled looking guy, like, in a wife beater.
Please tell me he did the whole, hello?
No. He just opens the door barely, sticks his head out. I'm like, yeah, I got the food. Like, here you go. And he yells back for, like, you know, Cathy or whatever. And then he does, like, the voice, but it's very clearly still him.
Holy shit.
He's like, oh, are the wings here? And it's like, he is not even attempting to throw his voice. It's just him. And I just give him the wings. He gives me no tip and I leave. And then apparently he called back and said the wings were perfect and the driver was very nice. He apparently liked me.
I bet the reason why is because you didn't say, here would be that money plus tip. Wink. You didn't bug him about the tip. So he's like, oh, well, this guy's a stand-up fellow.
I was terrified.
This guy's a stand-up fellow.
I was fucking terrified. Like,
your life ain't worth a $6 tip.
Like, maybe, but it was the sort of thing where I was genuinely concerned for my safety with that one. It was like, when they told me that guy called back specifically, it was like, I liked the driver this time. I was like, never send me to that fucking place again. I'm gonna die. Like, I don't want to show up on Dateline. Do not send me there. Do not. But you've got complete genuine insanity, and then you've just got pure abject despair lined up side by side.
I mean, it can't be complete despair, because they're eating pizza.
No, it can be. Because it's Pizza Hut pizza. Ooh.
Oh, hold on. I got a story about, I don't think I've ever told this. It happened with Tim. We got a pizza, and it was really, really garbage. And so I wanted a refund, because it was like, they just took all the cheese and piled it in the middle. And then here was the snag. The name I delivered the pizza under was Richard Crankshaw. So I had to call them up and say, hello, my name is Richard Crankshaw, and this pizza sucked ass. And so I had to, I went back and forth through, corporate emails to these people under the guise of Richard Crankshaw. And they're like, okay, here, we're going to send you a free pizza. You're going to get a refund. And then, so I get there, I'm like, cool, let's get my free pizza. And I'm about to hand them my credit card. They go, wait, this says Tad Becker on it. This doesn't say Richard Crankshaw at all. And, the dude there looked at my card, looked at me, looked at the card, and just, swiped it because he didn't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
And then I'm going to do it again under my actual name because fuck Pizza Hut. I don't want to eat their pizzas for money. I'll eat them for free.
I can agree with that. I can very much agree with that. But one of my other most memorable deliveries from them was to a small building, just in the middle of the suburbs outside of Columbus. And I always played a game when delivering. I would look at the order and then look at the street, and I would try and pick out which house it was going to be based on how gross the order was.
If there's some person with their life together.
I got startlingly accurate at this. If somebody ordered a large, one medium pizza and two 2 liters of Mountain Dew, I'm like, that is going to somebody's trailer. They are drinking those 2 liters in one sitting, and I was almost always right. I got really good at this. So this order was a lot of food. So my thought was birthday party or something like that. It was a standard birthday party order, 3 large pizzas, a 2 liter or something, haha, fun times. And then I pull up and I look at the address, look at the house, look at the address, look at the house. It was not fun times. This house was in the middle. It was flanked by two other respectable looking houses, and this one had a plywood door, boarded up windows, like, and the plywood was like nailed onto the side of the door, like it didn't really open so much as it like cracked.
Oh,
like it
fuck.
Bent. And so I'm like, I'm gonna die. But
this is like a condemned house. What the fuck?
It really is. So I knock on the plywood, and this kid, he's like 10 or something, opens the door, he looks up at me, and he looks like he's gone to Nam.
Now, when you say Nam, you don't mean like the funny, like, he's eating pizza, he's getting that Nam on.
No, I mean like Viet'Nom. Like this kid looked like he should have had like a 5 o'clock shadow, like a trench coat at the door, calling people dames in like a grizzled detective mystery. Like, this kid looked done.
He's chasing after the pepperoni slicer killer. He turns his victims into pepperoni and eats them on a pizza.
Oh,
no,
man.
wait, they call him the pizza
I would
boy.
watch that. Oh, that'd be a good.
They call him the delivery man.
Oh shit! The names one after the other. Send it to HBO. Send it to Showtime. Send it to Cinemax. Probably not Cinemax. Actually, rescind that offer. Don't do it, Cinemax.
I'll send it to Stars.
I want to see where they go with that one. So the kid takes the pizzas and he just hands me the money. He never makes eye contact with me this entire time. Like, it was genuinely sad. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what is happening? Like, are there any adults in this house? Or did his parents like die and he doesn't know how to make real food, so he's just ordering pizza? No, that is apparently not the answer to that question. What happens is that I leave the front door and I go back to my car, and this guy and his son are like leaning over by their mailbox, looking at me, and they make eye contact with me. And the kid looks up at his dad and just makes like a, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me" face. And the dad just starts busting out laughing, and he motions for me to come over. I'm like, what's so funny? And he is laughing his ass off, and he goes, I had a bet with my son. I bet that another pizza guy wouldn't show up. It was like 2 p.m. Like, I bet him that another pizza guy would show up. He said that they wouldn't. There's no way. And I said, "What? How many pizza guys showed up before me?" He said, "Yeah, 2 pizza guys already showed up to that same house within like the last hour."
Hour?
Yeah. And there were no lights on in the house. There were no cars in front of the house. Nothing. So what I imagined, to make it a little bit fun, is I just imagine that the kid's mom just fills up like an entire room, like they have to pour her into it. He's got like a little stepladder, and she just sounds like Jabba the Hutt, just like keep pouring the pizzas.
Pizza the Hutt.
Like, just picks up the pizza over his and just dumps them. And it was a lot of pizza.
Or consider this. He's friends with 4 outrageous turtles.
You just made it. You made it happy. You flipped it back around. That kid's living the dream.
He's exactly. That's why he didn't look at you, because he didn't know if you were one of the Foot Clan.
I am. Little known fact, actually am. I'm gonna get those turtles. The other thing that was notable about the Pizza Hut clientele, at least in that area, was that it was a lot of good old boys, good old boys and rednecks, a lot of Budweiser cans on the lawn, and probably gonna shoot you if you come on your property and you don't have like the pizza sign on your car.
Don't violate my NAP.
It's a lot of those guys. But so I was driving through a neighborhood to deliver a pizza, and it was just a decent suburb, bit like lower middle class, apartments, stuff like that, but nothing terrible. And I pull up to this guy's house, and as I was going through, there were some kids playing in the road. They were just being children. They were a little bit annoying, but whatever. Like they were riding their bikes in like the middle of the road and all of that. But they were just having fun being children. They were like 9.
They disgust me.
And yeah, well, they would, considering how horrifically racist you are, because they just happened to be black children.
You
That your
got
subconscious
me.
racism triggered that. So, but the thing is that there were white kids in that neighborhood doing the exact same shit. Like within eyesight. Right? But I go up to this guy's house, big old bushy gray and white beard, like a couple of teeth, like imagine if Gandalf had just decided fuck the ring and just started chugging Miller Lite every day until he blacked out, and that would be this guy.
Now he's Gandalf the drunk. He's a pizzard now.
I would watch that. I would watch that shit. 100%. But he looks at me, looks at the kids, looks at me, looks at the pizza once, looks back at the kids, looks back at me, and I feel bad for even just like quoting this guy. Because he just looks me dead in the eyes, makes kind of like the face, like the haha, us white people face, you know, like the little smug grin. And just goes,
Yeah, the one that I always give my fellow whiteys.
yeah, that the secret communication. He just goes, man, fucking monkeys, am I right? And I go, whoa. You jumped here. You jumped here a bit because I was not expecting this. So I was just more shocked than anything, and my first thought was agree with him to get extra tip money. And then my second thought half a second later after that was wait, no, don't do that. But I actually thought that I was being like pranked at that point. I was like, there's no way somebody could be this comic book racist. There's no way somebody could be this 1950s Disney racist. Just like right here out in the open to some random guy that he does not know.
In the liberal mecca that is Columbus, Ohio.
I just wanted to know what about me made me think that he could confide that information in me. What about me? Like, what gave him the look of like, I can be really racist with this guy. This guy seems like he could be racist buddies with me. My immediate thought after that was, I'm being pranked. This is a secret shopper. And how fucked up would it be if that was true? If I just gone like, yeah, fellow crazy white person, I too am very racist. KKK, go white people.
KKK is okay. All right, thanks for the $5.
And then he just rips off the mask, goes, aha! President of Pizza Hut, you're fired.
See, I thought it was going to be President Obama.
Gotcha.
You
Oh,
take out the
God.
mask. I got you, Dan. You're being taken
You
to
little son of a bitch.
we finally got
You're
your
being
ass.
taken to Guantanamo Bay. And, just as an extra measure, drone striking your family. Sorry, don't make the rules, just enforce them. Obama away! And he just flies off.
So unfortunately, that's not the reality we live in.
No, I just kind of like, haha, whatever, man, and gave him pizza.
Solid neutral response.
I also couldn't say, like, anything negative. I couldn't be like, hey, that's uncalled for. Because then he's going to call the shot and be like, that little piece of shit delivery boy talked back to me. Send him back here. I got the Switch. And not the Nintendo kind with the new Zelda. I quite enjoy that one. You can run around on the mountains. Doesn't have enough spousal abuse for me, though. Need a little bit more of that.
Why can't you beat? Oh, I know. I probably should. I was gonna drop some Zelda spoilers in here.
Probably shouldn't. But yeah, no, I did not want to piss off Cletus there. But the pizza story comes to a close pretty quickly when I got the flu and refused to show up to work with the flu.
Yeah, how fucking greedy are you?
I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna go give everybody in like that suburb, just gonna go give them the flu.
Yeah, because you're the food.
Absolutely.
You're delivering food. Like,
Yeah,
obviously,
no.
you're gonna stay home.
clearly that isn't corporate policy or anything like that, but I was just like, man, fuck this place. Because that place was already kind of sketchy. Like, I had more than once had to yell at people for, like, dropping a wing on the floor and throwing it back in the fryer like nothing happened. Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those. Where anytime they got super busy, their standards just dropped to 0.
Oh, God. So that was the pizza shack.
Definitely not corporate policy there. That place was just particularly shitty.
So what was the other pizza place?
So I got hired pretty quick after that at a Domino's in the same town. And that place was decent. If there's one thing I can say is that, at least for the place I worked at, all the ingredients were fresh. Everything was made in-house. When they say it's hand-tossed, there's actually a guy hand-tossing it, and he's just yelling shit in Italian.
What's his name, though?
I have no idea. That guy terrified me. I did not ask.
His name's Don Parmesan.
Don Parmesan.
This is my son, Sean Parmesan.
Oh, they aren't very creative over there at the Parmesan
This is my
family.
wife, Parm.
Oh, she doesn't even get the last name. It's already just included.
We have fun here.
But so all the ingredients are decent, but then they assemble the pizza, they put it into the little conveyor belt pizza oven. You see it go through, there's like a little window, and you have the best job is you take a big old stick with a knife at the end of it, and you open up the oven and you just stab air bubbles so that the pizza doesn't explode. And it felt like you were harpooning the pizza whales. More than once I shouted, "I am Ahab," while harpooning these pizzas. It was great.
It's just a pizza with white sauce. White whale, holy grail.
Yeah, I did, in fact, make that joke. It was good. But at some point, when the pizza leaves that little viewing window, it gets transported somewhere where somebody gets a decent pizza. Like Rick and Morty portals again style, and then a shit pizza comes out the other end, and it tastes like garbage.
I had Domino's once. It was when I went to PAX with my older brother, and pretty underwhelming. The sausage tasted like shit.
Don't get the sausage. Well, I can't eat the sausage for another reason, which is Domino's delivered to a very unique clientele, and by unique I mean insane. Pizza Hut was like your run-of-the-mill crazy rednecks and poor people. Domino's was like the serial killers. Domino's was like the I need to report this guy to the police sort of clientele, and I don't know why.
I mean, Domino's did, and this is true, brag that they had the highest sales in history during the O.J. Simpson like getting chased on the highway, which is a pretty fucking psychopath thing to brag about.
It's kind of fucked up. It's like if you're just like, hey, you know that thing when Katrina hit? Sold so much bottled water. You could not believe how much I sold. It was great for business. Honestly, I can't wait for the sequel.
I can't wait for Katrina too.
This time it's personal. But we get an order in, and they still do it, the pseudo deep dish pan pizzas. And you could load these things up with all sorts of nasty garbage. But I had to take this order on the phone. And the guy had like the creepy, raspy serial killer-y voice too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the order info is, I'd like a Pam pizza. No cheese.
Ham has the same consistency as human flesh. You ever think about that?
I do, sir. All the time. In fact, currently thinking about it. Thank you. But
I hope you guys bring some kind of extra source of ham. It doesn't have to be on the pizza. I could just take it beforehand, it's got the bones in the middle.
I like those. Make some stew. But he said, instead of the pizza sauce, I want extra barbecue sauce.
I like
extra,
this, dude.
The garlic on the side.
I like this dude.
For the toppings, triple beef.
I like
So
this
it's this
dude.
disgusting dish. It's just like a bucket filled to the top with steamy, gross barbecue sauce and nasty beef.
It's more like a beef. It's like a beef stew.
The box immediately became soggy and it smelled terrible. Like, normally there's a waiting period between, like, when you put the pizza in the box and when the box gets a little moist and, like, steam starts coming off of it and shit. This was, like, immediate. Like, the box knew that its days were over.
Did you, like, double box it? Or did you just like, nah, I ain't touching this
We
pizza
should
anymore
have.
than I have to?
We really should have. But then, of course, I'm the one who has to take the delivery, and it is dark outside. Like, it is getting to be, like, late evening, and I pull up to this guy's house. It's a really nice house. He has a black Range Rover parked out in front of his house. That is the only car there. There are no lights on in his house. His porch light is off, and his doorbell is disconnected. There is just wire there.
Oh. There's a few flags here.
I knock on the door, wait for like a minute while he comes to the door. He opens the door very slowly. In complete darkness behind him, he is wearing a full suit and tie, like he was at work right now, like not like he got home, like he was still completely prim and proper. And he just looks me dead in the eyes, like his eyes are super fucking wide. And he just goes, "Wow, you got here quick."
He's still got some blood on his cufflinks.
Probably. And he just takes the pizza from me, and he walks backwards into the darkness and closes the door with his foot. Just swings back behind him, never ceasing to make eye contact with me as the door closes.
Holy shit. Did he even pay you first?
No, he did. He gave a good-ass tip.
I mean, hey,
But he just
you got there
slipped
fast.
back into the darkness.
That's right, because there's no lights on in his house, is there?
None whatsoever. Abject darkness. So, I don't know what he did with the pizza because it's not food. Like, nobody is eating that. If you're listening to this podcast and you were thinking, like, you got hungry while listening to that, please reconsider your life choices.
I can only imagine he took like a brush and he was using it to paint, you know? He was painting for his daughter who has that one disease that makes electromagnetism give her headaches, you know? I like to look on the brighter side of things. Or he was a fucking serial killer and now you're complicit.
I mean, I'm thinking it's the latter. Like, he tips the paintbrush in the barbecue sauce, splatters that around, dips the paintbrush in the person, splatters the blood around a little bit. It makes a nice little fresco.
Just think, in a few months there'll be the Columbus beef broiler. He would slather his victims in barbecue sauce and just throw them in a broiler.
Honestly, I think that the pizza was the murder weapon.
You just drowned someone.
I'm pretty sure if you make somebody eat that, they'll die. Probably the most bizarre of the deliveries in terms of just nobody believed me when I came back we were just about to close, and there is another semi-local establishment to Ohio in the Midwest called Magic Mountain, and it's a like big old adventure center with like arcades and go-karts, mini golf. It's one of those places, you know, like a birthday joint, like Chuck E. Cheese, but with fewer heroin needles in the ball pit. You know, fewer, not entirely gone. You can't make that sort of guarantee.
You know those plastic tubes that a lot of those places have that like kids will crawl through?
Oh, hell yeah.
I went to St. Louis with my brother and I went to the City Museum and I accidentally went to the little kids area after I entered the beluga whale vagina. And when I came out of there, I got deathly sick.
What? Hold up. What? Repeat. What?
When I got to the children's section because I was walking around.
No. After that?
Yeah, and then I was walking around in the children's section, you know, and then I saw a giant beluga whale and I went inside its vagina and went to the kids section.
Stop, right? Nope, there. That bit. Explain.
Okay, so there was a giant beluga whale and you entered its vagina to go upstairs into like the ceiling.
Fucking why? Where do you live? Where was this?
This was the St. Louis City Museum. It is like a 7-story tall playground.
What the fuck is wrong with St. Louis?
Anyway, I went inside the beluga vagina, and when I came out, I threw up red stuff because I was so sick. Because, like, I doubt they ever cleaned those plastic tunnels.
I think that's called blood.
I think it was mostly Dr. Pepper. It could have been blood, though.
I'm thinking a mixture of the two. But, so, the other thing about Magic Mountain is, much like a Chuck E. Cheese, they serve pizza. So we get an order with the delivery address being this Magic Mountain. We're a pizza joint delivering pizza to another pizza joint. It's just me and one of the managers. And I say, no, we should not take this order. This is somebody fucking with us. Like, we shouldn't take this order. And he says, nah, it's fine. They must have turned off their ovens for the night, and it's like the staff ordering a meal or something, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just reasonable enough. And we called the number, and nobody picked up. I'm like, that's just reasonable enough for me to go and try. So it was like, 9:30 by the time I got there. And I walk right in, holding the pizzas with the little hat. And one of the managers just looks at me, makes it look like, just like, oh, not this shit again. And he walks up to me and verbatim, this is the exchange we had. You know that this is fucking ridiculous, right? And I said, yes it is. He said, you do realize that we serve pizza here? And I said, yes, I do. I didn't want to take this delivery. And he puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, like, this isn't your fault. Not mad at you. But I know who did this, and they need to get the fuck out of my Magic Mountain. And that is the best sentence I've ever heard anyone say.
They need to get the fuck out of my Magic Mountain.
Like, that just sounds like it. That sounds like a particularly non-threatening, like, mountain wizard. Just throwing out, like, a little goblin who's been playing too many tricks. It's like, was that Garg Flap again? He needs to get the fuck off of my Magic Mountain. You just chuck him off.
Maybe it's Gandalf. Maybe, he had too much to drink. Now he's the mountain wizard. This is Magic Mountain. Get the fuck out of here, hobbits.
Yeah, shoo.
So did he pay you for the pizzas, or?
No, the family who ordered the pizza, apparently they had done this for the last, 3 nights in a row. They would go to Magic Mountain. They didn't like the pizza that Magic Mountain served, so they ordered pizza from other pizza places.
Dude, these guys sound awesome.
This family was a large family. It was 7 or 8 people, and they were staying at the hotel right down the street for a family reunion, or they were visiting. And I'm choosing to believe family reunion because I don't think anybody would come to Columbus as pure tourism. There's nothing here.
There's the Magic Mountain. They got bad pizza, though.
Welcome to Columbus. Please look at our hipster-laden restaurants and one good college. Fuck you, everybody else. Oh, it's you! Haha! I mean, you could drive several hours and go to the best theme park in the world, but that's about it.
So I'm wondering, I guess maybe the family just didn't give a fuck. They didn't even deliver it to the hotel.
They didn't. It was this, big-ass redneck Texas family or whatever. And while they're getting thrown out, they're like, this is a free country. I can do what I want. I can do what I want. You can't tell me what to do. It's a free country. It's like, I ain't buying your shit pizza. I'm buying this shit pizza. It is slightly better than the slop you are selling.
Oh, God. Columbus sounds like a place.
It is. But they get kicked out, and they still want the pizza, of course. And they started eating some of it on the curb right there while yelling. But then they realized that they wanted to go back to their hotel. And they gave me some of the money, but then they were like, hold on, here, we can't carry all of this to the hotel. Can you, drive it up to the hotel while some of us walk there? And I say, sure, fine, whatever. At this point, I'm just going with things to see how far this will go. But I get into my car, and they knock on the windows hey, can some of us ride up with you? And I roll down the window, and one of their little children, grabs into my fucking window, some sort of, like a cat reaching underneath a bathroom door at shit, and he starts like grabbing on my fucking wheel, like some sort of feral
See, I was
wolf
going to
child.
joke.
And I just start rolling up the window. And I say, no, you may not. So they all, like, half of them pile into their shitty car that they drove down there because they couldn't walk down there, clearly. And then the rest start walking up there, and I'm following the car that was driving up, and they give me the pizza, and or I give them the pizza, they give me the money, and then as I'm about to leave, the guy goes, hey man, hey, you want to make an extra $20? And I said, you know what? Sure. What do you want, dude? Let me preface this by saying, if you are ever a pizza delivery driver and somebody says, hey man, do you want to make an extra $20? You shouldn't say yes to that offer. But at this point, I'm just like, this has been insane. I just want to see what's going on. And he gives me this one and he says, all right, so what I want you to do, and he's cracking himself up because he thinks this is hilarious. It's like, I want you to drive down and drive up to my wife and roll down the window, and she's going to ask you where the pizza is. I'm like, uh-huh. And I want you to say, you threw it on the ground. I'm like, that's hilarious, dude. I'm definitely going to do that. $20, please, up front. And I drive down, and the lady, and true to his word, but the white whale holy grail joke is very appropriate here because she could have been mistaken for one. Like, I was having flashbacks with the harpoon and the pizza thing as I was driving up, and she sticks her arms out super wide, gets in front of my car as I'm driving down, like, hey, waving, and gets in front of my car, has her kids like block my fucking car so that I can't leave because, like, I'm not going to run over children. And they apparently knew this slightly. Like, the kids are in front of my fucking car, and she's like, hey, where's the pizza? I said, yeah, your husband already gave me the money, wanted me to prank you. I'm not going to do it. And then the kids left, and I left. So I'm just like, nah, I ain't doing this shit. Thanks for the 20, assholes.
That's fantastic.
It was good. And the delivery took me like an hour. And when I got back to the shop, they were just like, what the fuck took you so long? And I was just like, so you're not going to believe me, but this is what actually happened. And they did not believe me for a while until they, like, I think they actually, like, the next day called that number and, like, confirmed some of the story and, like, called the Magic Mountain people and were like, yeah, those guys are, like, we are blacklisting that number. We are not taking orders from them anymore. Holy shit, dude.
Now, see, what if this backfired? Like, the dude was like, nah, he didn't prank my wife. And then he got fired because you didn't, customer first.
Customer first, absolutely. No, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to anger your lowland gorilla of a wife who has her hands very close to my breakable windows and her, like, feral children in front of my car.
It's like a mini zombie apocalypse.
It really is. But probably the most amusing angry customers, though, were this one deaf couple. They ordered over the phone, and you may be asking, how the fuck do deaf people order over the phone?
Badly.
Yes. They have, like, somebody who works with them, apparently, to, place orders and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's like an at-home nursing assistant. Yeah.
Yeah, like a helper for that sort of thing. And they call in, they order, and this person is adamant in using a coupon that expired, like, 2 years ago. And this is one of the experiences that I had dealing with deaf people while delivering pizza that has garnered a deep resentment for the deaf. And if there's any deaf people listening, haha, you can't fucking hear me. This is a podcast. There's no visual element. Suckers, you'll never know. They'll never know. These bastards, they're like, they roll in, and they're both deaf, and they start signing at people, and they're angrily signing, like they're yelling, and none of us speak sign language. None of us. And they just start going like crazy, and it's very clear that none of us speak sign language. And then they, like, whip out their coupon, slam it on the table, angrily start pointing to it. And at this point, I just turn back to the manager and just shout, "Tag out." And he comes in and he has no patience for this shit. He just pulls out a sheet of paper and starts writing on things. Like, they're gesturing madly, like wildly. They're pissed. And apparently when a deaf person wants to go completely batshit insane while yelling, they'll like do a fucking 360 while just signing. Like improv signing, just like
they'll just
at
like
the
spin
room.
around.
They just started like fucking spinning while signing, and like like they were
Oh,
mad.
that's right, because they're not mutes. They're still going like
No, yeah, they
like
were
that,
loud.
right?
They were loud. And I saw him like he was just gesturing to the expiration date on the coupon. It wasn't even the correct coupon for what they ordered, and eventually I just saw him in huge strokes write on this sheet of paper, "Fuck off," and shove it in their face. And at that point I was just like, this guy's my favorite manager. We're bros now.
Oh, that's amazing.
And they did not enjoy that one bit. They started walking backwards out of the Domino's, furiously signing, and we still cannot speak sign language. We're just like, yep, you can keep doing that. It's nothing, nope, not a word of it. And they refused to use the paper to communicate. Like, he's like gave them the paper and pencil, and they like turned their nose up like, how fucking dare you not know sign language when you work in the telephone order pizza industry? What if somebody needs to sign at you over the phone? Clearly. We have online ordering. You can use that instead.
Oh God, Domino's, eh?
Yeah, they also attempted to get me to work the school lunch shift, which was the terrifying practice of every school within like 10 miles wanting like 100 fucking pizzas every like Tuesday morning. You had to show up at like 6 a.m. and start prepping all of these pizzas and driving them out. But they said, don't worry, it's fine. We have a system set up with the schools where they don't tip the driver, but there's every delivery that you make, you get $2 as a flat tip. And you were delivering like 70 pizzas each time. So I did that shift exactly once and just told them, yeah, no, I'm never doing that shit again. No, absolutely not.
Because there's also the cost of what driving like that all the time does to your car. Not to mention the pizza stonk.
Oh, no, yeah, my car smelled terrible. Just awful after that.
When I have a Little Caesars in my car for longer than 15 seconds, it smells like pizza.
Yes.
I can't get that shit out.
I nearly forgot. This is the one I'll end it on because it is, without a doubt, the best story. We go back to when I was working at Pizza Hut, and we get an order for the minimum delivery amount, which is like $5. A guy made a tiny order of like 6 wings that came under just the minimum. It was at like the very edge of our delivery radius into a shady-ass town. Late at night. And I'm like, this is the most obvious setup to getting mugged I have ever seen. They're like, well, you still have to take it, but I mean, if it looks too sketchy, you can bail. I'm like, all right, fine. And so I drive up, and it's a sketchy-ass apartment, and there's a guy just sitting on the stoop, very clearly high, smoking something, probably weed. He's wearing a hoodie with the hood up, and I pull up, and he motions me over. I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna get mugged, but, it'll be an experience. I've never been mugged before. Let's see how it goes. So, I go up to the guy, give him the order. He gives me the money in exact change, and I walk back, and I'm like, I didn't get mugged. That was surprising. Huh. He says, wait, hold up, man. Come back. I got something for you. I'm like, oh, here it comes.
He's gonna pull out a knife.
And, well, he reaches into his hoodie pocket, pulls out a small plastic bag, and he puts it in my hand. Mm-hmm. He's like, this is for you, man. And I look at it, and it's not drugs. It is full of coins. And I look, and they are all dimes. A lot of dimes. And he looks at it, he goes, "It's a dime bag, bro." And starts laughing his ass off.
I like this dude.
And I got back to my car, and I counted it was exactly $10 in dimes. He got high as shit and just made that order just to make that joke.
Dude, this guy, that might have been me. Like, that's something I would do.
I love that guy. That guy is my favorite guy. Because he just, like, he was on the ground laughing after he gave me that and he made that joke, and he just didn't stop. Like, I stood there for a bit to see if he would stop, and he just didn't. Because in his mind, at that moment, he was the funniest dude alive, and he was fucking right.
He was a regular Seinfeld. Or is it Seinfeld? Seinfeld. Is my... he's my OC
Is that your original
fan
character?
Combination. It's Jerry Seinfeld and Garfield.
What's the deal with Mondays? Boy, howdy, Boy, howdy, John. I sure do love these bagels. I would watch that. I would fucking watch
this
that.
lasagna is making me thirsty.
I would watch that. Which one is Kramer? Is John Kramer? John is Kramer.
Jerry, where is my pipe?
Why does this work so well? Why are all the Seinfeld characters one-to-one with Garfield characters?
Newman is obviously the dog. Odie.
Holy shit!
I know, right? This is copyright. Let me tell you about. This is my idea. Don't steal it. I took these two things. I combined them together.
It's like the new Sonic Chew.
Exactly. Zap to the extreme. I've always said that.
That blows any of this shit out of the wild. That blows any of this shit out of the wild. Why do we even bother? Fuck that. Can we just do an hour? Can we just do an hour of Seinfeld Garfield?
Let's just do that. Let's just do Seinfeld. We'll do it after we close out this dumb podcast.
Yeah, that would be the new segment.
All right, so you guys can find us on Twitter at Let Me Tell You PD. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube. You can find me on all those things. You can find Dan on Revival. He's the dungeon master.
That I am for these fucking nerds.
Let's see. We also have a Discord where we're both hanging out in, interacting with our fans because we're so goddamn popular. There's also a Patreon that's been super, super useful in getting us audio equipment way ahead of schedule. Because I was preparing, like, I'm going to save up money for several months. Nah, I mean, due to the generosity of all you people, we were able to get them, like, and now we're just, paying those off and everything's going to be fucking
Mics
awesome.
don't suck. It's very nice.
Great. Anyway, and then one last thing before we go. I got some Patreon shout outs to our 15 and up donors as a special thank you. I want to give a shout out to Magic Man, Jaron Kiwi, Brady Hammonds, Sean Dunsmore, Stephen Finn, Alba, Logan, No Two Hands, and Elizabeth Gutierrez. And with that, we'll see you next Wednesday with another fun episode.
Tune in next week for another episode of Seinfeld.
Oh god, does Garfield have like a theme? Is there like a theme song for Garfield?
Is there?
Boom, 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 boom. Mondays, Monday.